Oh, let's watch this. This looks interesting. Who committed the worst crime? Ex-cons rank themselves.
Jeez, mate.
Great Northern Brewing Co. The beer for up here.
Oh, thank you, Bucci. I just saw your DM.
I didn't hurt anybody during
Well,
the
let me
robbery.
save this.
You did. It's our opinion. That's traumatizing. You probably gave someone PTSD.
100% I did. 100% I did.
So what is that? How many people is that?
No, I tied over 100 people.
Thank you for the sip, GK.
Okay, go back. Just go back. Just go back.
Listen.
Wait, let me make it bigger.
I don't know. He's too jacked. He's in the joint. You got a picture.
Why do I look zooted?
You.
In between.
Something about you. Right?
Wait, we need to add one more win.
Stay right there.
Actually, 2 more.
I'd put me about. I'll swap
Get
with
here,
you.
get here. Okay.
It's updated.
All right, that's fine.
One more.
I think the girl at the end is probably unsuspecting. You'd probably be over here a little bit more. So I would put you towards that side because you don't look like you've done anything too crazy.
Too crazy, right? Yeah, I agree. She looks innocent.
I'd come to you guys' side. Quiet ones always did a lot of times, so you haven't said a word. So, so you're probably in the right spot.
Guys, the art is so cute. Thank you,
Come over here with
Bucci.
me, Pops. Okay. Come on.
I'd agree with that.
Something about you that
Can you
I'm,
ma- oh.
I'm puzzled about.
Wait,
you
no,
know,
fine,
the
that's asking for
tattoos,
too
the way you
much.
talk. I'm not sure
I was like, can you make a
about
version
on
with
that,
where I
you know.
would look like
Move over
Mercy
here.
instead? Because I don't play
You want to
Tracer.
real? With me? Okay.
Let me see those tattoos.
My tattoos?
Yeah, let me see them.
Those are done on
You're
the
over
street.
here.
This is
I'm
prison.
over here, right? See, I'm over
Over
here.
here.
Those are
Right here.
street.
Have you guys
Okay,
seen
that.
those crazy tattoos that like look
I put that
like
on.
actual
on least
video game? Like it looks crazy. It looks so colorful and stuff. There was one of like Super Mario. I don't know like what it's
Anybody
called.
did enough time to have face tattoos?
I actually got a face tattoo
Oh, wait.
right here.
Oh, it's covered up. You're
covered it up?
cheating.
Sometimes, like, I'm telling you, there's that twerk. You're like a serial killer. Oh, you could have been.
Could have been.
It's just that click, you know, it's like,
Surely there can't be
I would have a
anyone that's
drink.
done anything that bad.
sure. You gotta go up there right now. You get me a little nervous.
Which side? Over,
All the way,
over
all the
Pops?
way, all the
Okay.
way. Pop, you stay right there. You
I
can't
don't think
fool
she
me.
did that much of a serious
Come on.
crime.
Think I'm right here? Okay.
Yeah.
I think the last two should switch. I think he probably did the worst crime. She did the least worst crime.
Maybe she did the
My
worst crime.
appearance, That's just my opinion.
She's just trying to
She
throw
looks
people
very,
off.
like angelic,
Serial
like
killer.
innocent to me, and he just looks more rugged. Like he's willing to do something a little more dangerous, in
She
my
did
opinion.
time. See her hand tattoos. She's like that nurse that killed somebody, though.
Yelena from
know, they
Attack on
kill with
Titan.
the-
I'm actually in the middle of watching that right now.
Everybody killed somebody, man.
When I was in prison, a lot of the dudes that were in there for serious crimes didn't look like they were in there for serious crimes. If they looked like the typical dude you would see in an office, I was like, that's a sex offender. I'd put you on like a bank fraud, forgery,
hello?
burglary type of scenario. You've done time, but you've done lots of different stretches
Hi.
of time, nothing crazy.
Are you back?
all
I
at
spilled
once,
water on my
guess.
keyboard, yeah.
Same.
A
Oh,
lot of people who did like
That's
really
why
Is it good now?
serious
message was there.
crimes,
Yeah.
they end up finding their zen
do you want to
in
cue?
prison. And so they'll
Yeah.
just be this like calm aura about them. Or they've done so much time that they don't readjust well to the world. And then you catch an air of like
I'm watching
that
a video
PTSD,
about
that
like
anxiety
criminals
about people.
and who
when
committed the
people
worst
did a
crime. I don't know if you've
violent
seen
crime,
it.
That doesn't really tell you
Nah, I haven't.
anything about their life, because that can be a 5-minute accident. But when people have drug crimes or identity theft, that's usually indicative of their lifestyle.
I disagree. If you're apt to be violent, you're going to be violent. It's not like a snap that killed the motherfucker. No, you know, it's in you to kill the motherfucker.
I was in women's prison, so violence
They
is
have
a
crazy
less.
bitches in there. You know that.
I mean, there's girls who killed their abusive boyfriends,
Right,
though. I mean, that was
absolutely.
most of the murders that I saw.
There you
I
go.
mean-
Right, get over there. Man, they gotta switch this shit.
I'm not saying I condone murder, but
Yeah, you get your finger in that bribe too. No.
You
no,
know-
no. You gotta go over here.
This guy went down when he was young, and he's changed. He's not the same guy he was when he went down for something when he was 17, 18, 19. I see personal growth on this one. which I think means you did something serious. Come down here.
The young lady right here should move over. You got the spider web on your elbow. You know, it's giving me them kind of cartel vibes.
This guy here, though, you might have done a lot of time, but I don't think it was for that serious of a crime.
She sounds like Katy
I
Perry.
get like 70s dope case off you, or maybe like environmental terrorism, or some of like, you know, the radical stuff. The
What's
real radical
environmental
stuff that was
terrorism?
happening in the 70s, because I see that like political edge to you maybe. So I would put you down at least to the right of the guy with the hat.
No, he's got a lot of murders, man. I'm telling you.
I seriously
He's
hope
got a
none of
body.
these people are murderers.
Our two women over
crazy.
here are the most serious.
Because women are like that. I mean,
No, but like they wouldn't be out of jail anyway,
be
would they?
tough.
Unless it was like
They'll
homicide.
shank
I don't
if
know.
they have to. I mean, they'll do what they got to do. And listen, bitches are bitches, man.
This gentleman over here has had some
Hi,
bad
Clem, how are you?
experiences with women. Clearly, he's a little traumatized. Just about nothing he says about women aligns with my experience in prison, where almost everybody was there for less serious crimes.
Killing their babies and stuff.
Nah, man, they were fighting back against abusive men.
Oh, don't
which
get in that
I
conversation.
mean,
Don't get in that
what's
conversation.
going on over
Bullshit.
here?
They hit you first, and then they say, "Oh man, he hit me."
as they should though. Maybe not murder.
Proving my
That's a
point
bit
right
extreme.
here.
No, 'cause it's
That's
just
very
about
extreme.
society. Listen, if a bitch slaps you, what are you supposed to do?
But you know,
Thank you.
Chant, sometimes you get put in situations where you have no choice but to fight back. You know? Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. My talent is hitting the high notes, true.
Social construct. It varies by county line. How arbitrary is that? That the side of a county line you're standing on?
Oh, the
could be
new chair is
difference
great,
between
Trap. Like,
probation
I
and
love
20
the
years.
back support. It's
I'm
so
agreeing.
good.
Anything time you got a choice to do what you want.
Cherry, what's the
But it's
longest
a
queue
choice.
time you've had
Everybody
this
has
season?
choices, man. You got some days say, "Hey, fuck it, I f***ed up," and change if you wanna. If you don't want to change, that's your own business, you know. But you can do that. Is what I'm getting at.
Oh, they're not allowed to disclose their sentence and time
I was,
served.
you know, a little street dealer. I moved up, and I wound up moving to Florida, and it was closer to Colombia and Jamaica. My main thing was to figure out how to get cannabis from there to here. And I wound up, you know, doing a couple little airplane deals, then big boats, and then bigger airplanes, and it just wound up just getting completely out of hand, you know? It was nonstop for years and years, hundreds of thousands of pounds of cannabis, actually. And then, you know,
Damn.
I got arrested. I went away for a couple of years and got out, and then got arrested again. I was set up by a friend of mine. He had owed me some money for an airplane that he had stolen from me and crashed.
Prepared to attack.
And that's how
Select your
he
hero.
put it together.
Wait, what? That was so fast. Benefit of the doubt that they don't know.
With me to get me into doing it, because I told him like 4 or 5 times, no, I don't want to do that. No, you know, I'm done with that. 3 years in prison. was
House
enough for
shopping?
me,
Wait,
you
you're
know?
buying a house?
He kept hounding and hounding at me, and I wound up borrowing some money from some people that I shouldn't have. And when they wanted it back, that's when he got me to
Or
conspire.
were you
with him.
buying things for
A
your
reverse
house?
thing is what they called it. You know, where the police set you up. And that's when they had a hold on me real good. I made all my time in prison good. I didn't waste any time with anything that I did in there. I tried to stay positive all the time I was in there. I tried to help as many people as I could. You know,
It's not going so
especially
well,
youngsters
why?
that I would
Just
try
haven't
to
found one
get
that,
them out of what they were doing.
It's
So when I was
What you're looking for?
19, I had just gotten prescribed Xanax that day. So I ended up taking 15, and I had gone to sleep and then woken up early in the morning to drop off.
how
my friend
strong
at
is
his house.
Xanax? I don't know anything about it.
When we pulled up to the first stoplight, I actually fell asleep, and he had woken me up and asked me like if I wanted him to drive, and I told him no, I'm good, I can drive, I'm perfectly fine. Probably no less than like a minute or two later, I was going down a hill and I hit a tree and flipped my car. We were both not injured from the car accident, but he ended up getting an injury from kicking out my windshield. He had scratched up his entire, like, had to get stitches on his leg, and that's why it was an injury, with a DUI with injury.
Okay, so no one
my
got
best friend and I, we both
killed.
got into OxyContin, and then they cracked down on OxyContin prescribing. So
What's
all of a sudden,
OxyContin?
it was like $100 a pill, and people were scrambling. And we switched to black tar heroin. And you know, it
it's a
took a
pain
few
med?
years before I actually got like real bad in addiction. Like both he and I, we wanted a better
Ooh,
life.
okay.
Like
Oh yeah,
we
definitely
didn't
avoid
want
anything with
that, but
asbestos.
Addiction
It's
is
definitely a
hell,
no-go.
you know? And in that time, my friend Justin, he was going to jail and he got out. He was trying to do the recovery thing, but he just couldn't manage it. So within a couple months, he relapsed and he texted his drug dealer to deliver him a gram. And on the way to deliver it, his drug dealer got a flat tire. And he knew that I lived with a drug dealer. And so that night, he was gonna be dope sick and he had to go to work in the morning or else he's gonna violate his parole. And so he texted me asking if I could middleman a gram. And I did. He came over to my apartment. I asked if he wanted to stay and hang out. And he said, no, I gotta work in the morning. And he left. And because he was right outside of Multnomah County on the Washington County line, he overdosed and died that night alone in his bedroom.
Ooh.
And Washington County at that time was treating overdoses like murder. And so they raided my apartment the next day and charged me with drug delivery resulting in death for my best friend's death and against the wishes of his family who repeatedly tried to get them to drop the case. You know, they always say like, oh, but what about the victim? So in this case,
I
his
think
mom was
she
listed
should
as
be
my
placed
victim.
higher though,
And
for
she's
sure.
going to court opposing the prosecution and writing a letter on my behalf at sentencing. But victims' voices only matter when they align with the punitive interests of the prosecution. So Justin was a criminal while he lived, jail, jail, prison, prison. And the first time
200 to 250K. That's really cheap, Dread.
after he died. And then all of a sudden they had
Which
over $1
wait,
million
where?
to
Which state are you
prosecute and
looking
lock
in?
us up. But they didn't have money for treatment while he lived.
An apartment in Sydney is like
When I was
like
18,
800K AUD.
I was living on my own. I had a 2-year-old daughter. And I was approached by my sister, and she told me that she had an opportunity for me to make some money. I would get paid $10,000 for every $40,000 that I would withdraw from the bank. I agreed because I was naive. What I had to do was open up a bank account, and in turn, she gave it to the people that she was working with. They added my information to a millionaire's account, and they were transferring money from his account into my solo account. I found that out afterward. I didn't know how the money actually got in my account before this. And when we got there, I was instructed
You can't handle flooding basins
at
and
the
mold
first
and
bank
mildew.
to take out less than $10,000 so that the red flags don't go up. There was 2 men, and they were the drivers driving me and my sister. I also had my 2-year-old daughter with me. At this point, I didn't even know I was committing a crime. We made it to the as soon as I left the bank, I gave the money to the guys. At the third bank, I go in and I go to the teller. I give her my ID, and I gave her another slip to take out money. And I knew right away something was wrong. I saw her reach under the desk, which I'm guessing that's when she pressed the button and she alerted the police. When the bank was swarmed with police officers, I automatically knew that it was for me. Like, I felt it. And I got on the phone, I called my sister right away, which she was right outside with the guys in the car. And
How much time do you think she
I was
served?
completely alone,
for
2
that?
hours away from home, didn't know where I was at. I was 18 years old. So that night I went to jail, and I had a $10,000 bond, and I was bonded out by the guys, but a couple days later, they were knocking at my door. Come to find out, they were trying to harm me because they thought that I had you know, like giving them away even though nobody else got arrested. I was the only one ever charged for the crime. It was a huge organized
Wait, how do
laundering.
bonds work?
They had
Isn't
over
that just the
55
amount,
victims,
the money you pay for you to
something million
not
dollars
be
was
in jail
stolen.
until your case is heard in court?
I was
like
also
for
a victim because I had no idea
until
what was
you
going
go
on
to
behind the
trial?
scenes. I was just told to open up a bank account. So at the end, I was charged with organized fraud. It was a white collar crime and grand theft.
I started getting in trouble as a younger kid. 9 years old was my first charge.
What's the
and
biggest
they
crime
tried to
you've
take me to
committed?
detention.
This
and
is a
it
safe
didn't work 'cause
space.
you had to be
Don't be
10.
shy.
So
Tell me.
from the time I hit 10 through 18, I did a decent little
Who's
chunk
stolen
here and
something
there from
before?
detention. 16, I got put on state's custody. That's when I started doing drugs. I broke my wrist snowboarding at 16 years old and got addicted to pain pills. So from 16 basically till
Overwatch?
18
Oh my
through
God,
high school,
jail.
I was addicted to heroin and opiates. It was constant drug tests, kept getting dirty UAs. I couldn't stay clean and sober. It was just unfamiliar for me. Strangely
Chat,
enough, I have
can
a
I
scar
say
on my
something about
right
him?
arm, if you may be able to see it. I was one of the first people to get sentenced to get an opiate blocker installed in my arm. 19 years old. I robbed my drug dealer's house. Nothing
What is this
was
key time?
exciting in the safe, unfortunately, but that was the crime that I had committed, was burglary of a dwelling and theft. And at 19 years old, they sentenced me to prison for burglary of a dwelling
I think that
and
it's
theft. Not the amount of time.
commendable that
But
he's
yeah,
like
those were my original
so willing to
charges,
talk
but
so
it was
openly
heavily,
about
drug-related
his story.
leading up to that.
So I started young. I started in organized crime at 12. Moved up, went to the service. Then I got out. Then I ended up being the biggest jewel robber in the United States. Robbed 15 to 18 million. I was hooked up with organized crime. So, but when I got arrested,
What? This
with
guy's a
helicopters,
professional.
And it was fed because the state I had the mayor in my pocket, and we had the whole town who couldn't touch us. These were daytime robberies. I would go into the store, I would tie everybody up. I was, a professional. I knew who was coming, who was going. The cops were coming to hold everything. The people we had,
Damn,
boom,
okay.
take them down, boom, tag. We never gagged anyone because we didn't want to murder anybody because if they puked, they died. So we didn't do that. So after, we got them in there. I mean, it was a robbery. I had dynamite and everything, but thank God we didn't use it because we were going to kidnap somebody. But we didn't because that's no statute of limitation on that crime. And
Payday
then
2 IRL, it's
crazy.
true.
After that, I go away for not telling. So when I go away, while I'm in there, I get charged with another crime for protecting somebody. And then after that, got out. Been all over.
Phew, that conversation was
That
so
was a lot.
interesting.
Is this an
Remember
ad?
that unfortunate time that Billy Ray
Skip.
4 sisters, I'm the only boy. Well, I watched my mom struggle.
Oh, this one's about to get crazy.
Well, as a teenager, I got into the drug game early, about 15, 16 years old. I lived in with my mom. I had 4 sisters. I'm the only boy. Well, I watched my mom struggle all her life, trying to take care of 5 kids by herself.
I actually didn't know that. Like, I actually learned something. So he said that when he was robbing the places, they didn't gag the people because if they puked, they would die. I never knew that. Did you guys know that?
When I was in the streets hanging out, like the drug game was easy. We just stand in the corner hanging out. So I'm hanging out with him, but I ain't making no money. So I decided I'm gonna start hustling along with him. And then we started hustling, we started making money, and we started getting good at it. And we just got more into the game, from weed to serving cakes, cocaine.
Serving
crack.
cakes?
So
What?
with that came a lot of altercations, a lot of fights, a lot of arguments. A month after I got out of prison, I got locked up for
I
drug
know a
use
thing or two about serving
previously.
cakes, but
Then
I don't
bummed
think it's the
myself
same
out,
as
and
what
my
he's
friends
talking
got
about.
murdered. When he got murdered, I didn't get no therapy for it, nothing like that. So I was kind of traumatized by it, and I was angry, I was hurt, and I had a mindset of that nobody else in my friends would get killed, or my family. So I was dealing with that kind of issue.
You could aspirate? What does aspirate mean?
Some other guys at a skating ring where we got into a shootout. I wound up killing one of the guys who was shooting at us, and was on the run for like 3 weeks. Then I got locked up, and when I got locked up, I was charged with a slew of charges. That they gave us the 5 charges, and then I was sent to jail at 19 years old.
Ooh.
Okay,
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna say, I'm gonna switch Zane. Yeah, y'all too. Y'all switch. Y'all too. That kind of good. Good. The car accident was just him being intoxicated.
That's why when people pass out drunk, you tell them on the side.
Kind of flipped on himself trying to get out. So I don't think he was responsible for that, but he got charged for it.
I could make the argument with these two still because there was a death involved. You kind of knew something was fishy, obviously. Nobody just gives people 10 grand. And yours was not willfully like, hey, I want to hurt my best friend. Obviously, no, but the result was your best friend died.
I would actually switch these two down here because the guy you shot was just as likely to have shot you. And there wasn't enough money to come into your community and alleviate poverty, but there was enough money to put you in prison for I don't know how long. So there's unlimited funds to lock people up and not enough funds to lift people up. But just like whether you were the victim or the perpetrator that day was a coin toss. This gentleman traumatized I don't know how many people.
Yeah, but
for
no
the,
one.
for the
He
life,
didn't kill anybody.
especially in these particular circumstances where the
What is
the
she
guy you
yapping
killed
about?
was sort of consenting to the risk. He was shooting at you, right? I would put you at the front.
Interesting argument.
I agree with that. Yeah, I agree because it was self-defense and he tied people up, and that is traumatizing.
I didn't hurt anybody during a robbery.
You did.
It's our opinion. It's our opinion.
Listen,
you did.
I get it. Listen.
That's traumatizing. You probably gave someone PTSD.
So they're basically saying murder is
So what is that? How many
robbery
people?
is worse than murder.
I tied over 100 people. But the
Okay.
Go back.
Yeah,
Just
I'm in
go
a
back.
wide group. That's why the Q time's crazy.
listen, I didn't rob old people. I protected old people. Listen. Although what I did was wrong,
They're having a
there's
mid-off.
code I lived by. I never hurt somebody unless they were in my business. If you were in the drug business or you were in the loan sharking business, the bookmaking business, then you're fair game.
Or if they were in the jewelry store.
Well, those jewelry stores didn't pay protection. There's a whole thing. The mob is a whole different animal how we work.
Because they weren't in.
I'm not saying right. Again, I changed
I don't think
my
you're
life.
taking
so-
responsibilities for your actions.
Especially if they stay in the jewelry business, and now every day when they go to work in the profession that
Guys,
they
I
have
think
for their
Morgan's the
entire
main
life,
character here.
They're gonna think it's today the day. It's today the day.
Listen, they
So
couldn't
that's
get one person to come
emotional
testify
hurt.
against me. Not one. You know why?
Because they were scared.
No.
You were in the mob,
No,
bro.
listen, you're wrong. And I'll tell you why, and I mean this. They said, he's a nice guy. I robbed a store in Sarasota, Florida. Great store. Doing, old people come in. I put them down nicely. I didn't even tie them up.
You tied
Oh,
up
no,
the
no, no,
old
no, no.
people?
I was, listen, I had to.
We found a game.
The
No.
girl, I used to
Damn,
do
this video is long. I thought that was it.
Here's people, I'm already
I guess they still need to tell us like how long they were in jail for. Oops. All right, let's finish this video,
robbing it.
and then we'll call it.
We went in, took them down. I let them in. I opened my jacket.
But there's 18 minutes,
The old
bruh.
lady goes, I go, no, 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 no. You come with me. I put them in.
Let's just look at the shortest to longest sentence.
In 7th place, we have Zane with the shortest sentence.
Okay, no surprise.
In 6th place, we have Dallas.
Okay, but like, how long did they serve? I think they'll tell us
5th
after.
place, We have Morgan. In 4th, Camille. In 3rd, we have Will.
Oh, what?
In 2nd, we have Larry.
Hi, Homo. How are you? I see you in the chat.
And 1st, we have Richard.
Oh, damn.
For DUI with injury, I was sentenced to 2 years without a license, 3 months of rehab, and 3 months of DUI classes.
For burglary of a dwelling and theft, I was sentenced to 0 to 5 years in state prison.
Okay, but
Because
how
of
long was he
mitigating
actually in there
circumstances, I
for?
was pled down to conspiracy to distribute heroin and sentenced to 5 years.
For organized fraud and grand theft, I was sentenced to 6 years in state prison.
For murder in the 3rd degree, I was sentenced to 15 to 30 years.
Okay, but they
For
obviously didn't
RICO,
spend that long.
Organized crime and Hobbs Act robbery. I was sentenced to 4 12-year sentences.
I was charged with conspiracy to trafficking, and racketeering for cannabis, and I was sentenced to 98 years
Cannabis.
on a reverse thing.
Damn, that's insane. Okay, but how long were they actually in there? Oh, here we go.
I spent 5 days in jail.
Between juvenile, detention, wilderness, foster care, all that stuff included, jail, detention, all that stuff. The longest one-time stretch I did in prison was 18 months, but I've done roughly 5 years total. They sentenced me to 18 months contingent upon completion of the HOPE program, which was like a drug-related program. I completed that.
That reminds me of that
program,
meme, of that old lady where
where
you're like, it's been
picked up more
89
charges after,
years.
and luckily they
Was it
sent me
89?
to, it's called drug court. And that's where I found like Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous. It's where I got.
Oh, 84.
long-term
It's been
sobriety
84
and
years.
Went through a rehab program in southern Utah, and next month I'll have 15 years of sobriety. So that's what it was all about.
I served 4.5 years. They gave me a much lower sentence. I was able to beat the drug delivery resulting in death because the prosecutor said I did not meet the typical definition.
I
of
don't
a
think
drug
I'd
dealer.
last,
And
like,
again, because my
a
friend's
week.
mom
No, I'd be
was
able to be
opposing
in
the
jail for a
prosecution, they
week.
sort of dropped
I think
it
I'd
to the
survive.
minimum
Probably
that
not
they
a month.
could without
I'd probably go
making it
crazy
look
after a
like
month.
There was extreme sentencing disparities.
I served 4.5 years. I got
Ooh.
out on probation, violated my probation. I got sent back and did around 9 months.
I was sentenced to 15 to 30 years, but I wound up getting 10 years suspended for the conspiracy, and I served 10 to 20 years. 10 years in prison, 10 years on the street.
I ended up doing 412's duty. You have to do the 12 because I lost good time. Total 14 and a half years with 12
Ooh.
straight on the Fed bit. Man, my time in prison was pretty wild because I spent 3 years in the hole, over a year straight in the hole.
What's
I
in the
was
hole?
abused, strapped
Oh, the
down,
prison cell
naked,
where a prisoner who is being
peed
punished
on,
is kept alone.
by guards, all documented, and that's
Damn.
all fighting the abuses of prison. Had a rough time, but I did quit, got my law degree, and now I help a lot of people.
I've spent 32 calendars day for day before I got out.
32 years.
32 years.
Maximum security prison. I'm the longest serving.
I'm sorry,
non-violent
I
inmate in
just
history
ended
of
all,
this
like,
country. They couldn't have gave me any more
If I,
time.
oh, that's,
When they said
that's
that
crazy.
to me, I was like, I looked over at my lawyer and I said, they're not serious, are they? He said, don't say a word about it. We'll get you back. It's an illegal sentence, da 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 da. Meanwhile, make a long story short, I spent 32 calendars.
Do you feel like your crime matched your sentence?
For me personally, I did do what I did. I take accountability for it, and I did 18 months.
Have you
which
guys
at the time
watched Orange
was
is the New Black?
lifetime when I
It's
was
actually a really good
19
show.
years old, but it was expected. That was the life I was living at the time. So it's like I don't feel bad about the amount of time that I received for it. I felt it was somewhat fitting.
I get where you do time. We all do time. I probably got away with more than I did. But
There were-
when
were
you
there
see
f- there were
pedophiles
4
get
seasons, I think?
very little time, I think that the sentencing disparities. I'm not saying that it was wrong. I deserve to be in prison. I'm one of them. But a lot of people did not deserve to do the time they did, or the length of time they did.
It's still a long ass
there's
time,
a lot
though.
of disparities.
Yeah.
So, but I gotta say, it did what I did.
I think it was I got a great break from not getting that time or getting life in prison, because I thought I would get life in prison because a few of my friends were getting life for lesser crimes, or just having conspiracy to a murder and they got life.
As someone who struggled with addiction, for all those overdoses I had, where Justin technically is the one who sold me the dope, even if it was just like middlemanning, to think that if I would have died, he could have
so
been charged with that.
inconsistent. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not familiar with
That
all
makes me sick.
with how it
But for
works.
my 5-year sentence for what I was charged with, because that carries a 20-year mandatory minimum. And
Like, is
if
it
I
up
was
to the
black, I would
judge?
still be in prison. So I cannot be mad about
Is it completely
my 5
at the
years when
judge's
people
discretion?
all
Like, how
across
did they
this
come up
country
with how long
are
they have to
serving
serve?
way longer sentences when they're charged with that.
I'm really sick of burying my friends, and it seems like right now we wait for an overdose to occur so we can punish someone instead of preventing it, because we know what prevents overdoses, and it's not sending people to prison, but that's still the go-to thing that the government is doing. It makes me mad that we can spend millions of dollars either putting people in jail or prison for possession, my charge, which is users most often. It's not like kingpins like it was intended. It's just users, and putting people in prison for 20 years. When if you think about it,
but is it at the end? Is it one person that makes the
invested that
decision?
in treatment,
at the end of the
in harm
case,
reduction,
like the
we could be
judge,
saving
or are there like
lives.
multiple
and we
judges?
still have some of the highest crime rate out of any wealthy country in the
do.
world.
And they have to like come
Not
to
only
like
the highest crime rate, we have the highest prison
a
incarceration
decision
rate
collectively.
per capita or not per capita, actual straight numbers.
One
most
judge.
states
Oh.
are past most of these countries. States in
Interesting.
the United States
What if the judge
have
really
more
doesn't
people
like the,
incarcerated than these countries?
the
So we can go,
person?
and we know it's not working because our recidivism rate is high and our crime rates are high. So why don't we do it? And let's get to that. The big thing, Congress won't pass a law. They're all making money. Private
I'm
prison.
sure there is a
It's
lot of
big thing.
bias
How many
in the
jobs are
system,
involved?
but
It's all a bunch of bullshit.
is what it is.
I think, you know, for the time that I done for the crime, the time was ridiculous.
Yes.
They have to make
Absolutely.
adjustments in this country. There's no doubt about it. It's out of control, and there's so many people still in prison. You know, for the crime that I was in prison for nonviolent cannabis charge. There's over 50,000 people in prison right now that need to come home. When they told me 98 years, I said, "You got to be kidding me." For a nonviolent
Yeah, but like
cannabis
32
charge?
years is still
Something that doesn't hurt
That's
people,
like
it only makes them feel better.
longer
They
than
got a
I've
pain
been
in
on
their
this
foot,
earth.
or they
You
got a
know?
headache, or they want to just relax.
Like that's crazy. Like
It's quite
imagine.
incredible.
I'm trying to imagine like my whole life up until now, and I've
West
just been like
Prisoners
sitting in like a
Project
prison
found out
cell,
about me
rotting
through
away.
My daughter and my son and my nephew.
That's insane.
They got in touch with me, and within 2 months I was home. Wow. And I was facing the rest of my life in prison. The bottom line is they let me out because they were afraid of what would happen because the media got a hold of it. All the politicians were already getting in line to see.
Yeah,
how they could
imagine
get
all
their-
the like
their-
how
their
much we'd
hands
miss
in
out
it,
on.
and
Like
that's more or less. They didn't want the media on them.
most
That's how
importantly,
fast it is.
Overwatch. Like
I mean,
imagine
it was
missing
like-
all the amazing Overwatch updates. Like what the
You
hell?
gotta be kidding! I'm going home.
What are you doing now?
Now I'm in the cannabis business in the state of Florida. Cannabis, buds, and pre-rolls.
Wait, what's
I'm looking to,
cannabis?
you
Is
know,
that
I'm
different from
expanding
cannabis?
as we're speaking right now.
I've got like just a just a thought, I guess.
Can of
It's-
puss?
I've been out of prison for 17 years now. It feels
What
like it
is
was
it?
yesterday. I called my dad the other day. I'm like, I've been out for
I feel like I'm so
17 years.
uneducated.
This is crazy. I went when I was 19. My life today, the people that know me today, they would have no clue if they watch this and they're like, what? My solar guy is a prisoner? What the? Like, no way. So like people can change, things get different. My life today is significantly different than what it was back in the, you know, when I was actively involved in criminal behavior. But yeah, life gets better. Everyone can make that change. So that's kind of the message I want to throw out.
This was a super thing today. This was special. I'll put this on one of my.
This was
things,
actually
one
an
of my-
interesting
one of-
video to
on my
watch.
list,
I think
that
I
this
learned
was
a few
one of the
things from
special
it.
things I've done since I've been home.
I don't know if you guys knew this. I had not a f***ing clue what was going on. I said rankings. What's rankings?
Oh my god, not this video. Okay, I watched a bit of that. The trans vs conservatives, and wait, no, not that one. The one with Blair White.
I would
that
put you
kind
at
of
the
pissed
front.
me off.
I didn't hurt anybody.
I'm not watching that on stream.
It's our opinion. That's traumatizing. You probably gave someone PTSD.
Okay, guys.
100% I did. 100% I did.
So what is that? How many people is
I'm gonna end here, but thank you all for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed that video. I actually found it really interesting. The takeaway is don't commit crimes, people. Be good citizens of the world. All right, let's see who we can raid today. Let's raid Salem. Bye, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Actually, no. Am I streaming tomorrow? I might be busy, but we'll see. Can we copy this raid message? Or this if you're not subbed. Okay, bye, chat. Thanks for hanging out. I'll see you tomorrow. I'm gonna go get food. Bye. Oh, and don't forget, everyone, stream Fortnite. Not Fortnite as in like the video game, but go stream Fortnite by Taylor Swift right now on YouTube and Spotify. Let's go get that 3 million debut week. Let's go.